Now, a CBS News Chicago exclusive. The U.S. Department of Education is investigating Northwestern University for alleged civil rights violations. It was sparked by a complaint from Palestinian and Muslim students who say the school failed to keep them safe from threats and discrimination. For the first time, one of those students is coming forward, telling her story only to our Andrew Ramos.
When you're scrolling through videos of children who've had their limbs blown off, it immobilizes you.
And it's that sentiment that fueled a movement. One that swept college campuses nationwide where student activists mobilized. Setting up encampments, including right here in Chicago, issuing demands from their universities to cut ties with Israel. And protesting its war in Gaza. Since October, the Israeli military has killed more than 38,000 Palestinians, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Students on a mission to disrupt. But long before any tent went up, it was here at Northwestern University where students say administrators allowed a hostile and unsafe environment to go widely unchecked for those who support Palestine, including Muslim students. The claim's now part of a recently filed civil rights complaint with the U.S. Department of Education.
The fear was so pervasive and the hostility was so pervasive, and even after that.
Sharing her story for the first time is Asya Wasif, a second-year law student at Northwestern Pritzker School of Law in Chicago, who is also one of 4 students being represented in this complaint. She is Pakistani Muslim American and says she and many of her peers were targeted on campus with racist comments.
I think it shows that they don't care about their Muslim students. They don't care about their Palestinian students.
Last September, a team of students was working on a legal project on campus. A Palestinian Muslim student represented in the complaint was there. The complaint says she was zooming in on an image so others could see. When she did, she said, "I'm going to blow this up on the computer to show you." That's when, in front of the other students, the professor said someone who looks like you probably shouldn't go around saying they're going to blow things up. And in another incident in January of this year, the complaint says that same professor compared the displacement of Palestinians in Gaza to a 2-week vacation. Asya was there when it happened.
And this professor made so many egregious comments regarding Palestine and Palestinians that I dropped out of that program.
The campus environment, the complaint states, grew increasingly hostile for them after October, forcing students to miss class because they felt unsafe. Asya and other students who are part of the complaint told us that the comments from professors emboldened other students to dox those who were part of Palestine solidarity protests, including publicizing their identities online and sharing threatening social media posts like this one. "The truth is, our enemies don't deserve a quick death," the post says. "Gracing them with our bombs is an act of mercy."
It's clearly done to intimidate us and to silence us and to harm us. We don't have classrooms in which we feel safe because on the one hand, we have students who have contributed to our doxing, and on the other hand, we have professors who are making comments about, displaced Palestinians as vacations.
There's Palestinian students, people who look like they're Palestinian or Palestinian allies, who are just being targeted for their activisms. And so what we see is that
Rivka Falina is an attorney and legal fellow with Palestine Legal, the law firm that filed the complaint on behalf of the students.
They're speaking out against the genocide, and as we see is it's not being taken well by these universities.
The civil rights complaint is just the latest in nearly a dozen similar complaints filed by her team in the past year, including one filed against UIC. And at Northwestern, the students in the complaint say they repeatedly met with administrators with their concerns, but the university was slow to respond or take action, and did not put out any statements specifically supporting Palestinian students impacted by Israel's war in Gaza.
One of the only things we wanted was simply a statement that acknowledges Palestinian students and supports them as well. But they couldn't even do that.
What Asya hopes this new federal investigation brings? Systemic changes to Northwestern.
What we want out of this is for the administration and for other individuals who have harmed us to be held accountable.
Andrew Ramos, CBS News, Chicago.
We repeatedly reached out to Northwestern about these allegations, but we did not hear back. Generally, if the federal government finds civil rights violations, a university's funding could be at risk. The Department of Education would not comment on the case either.